Hi everyone, this is Aya, and I'm on week 4 of polyphasic sleeping, and I wanted to talk to you about some of the logistics of polyphasic sleeping. First, let's talk about my current schedule. First, I nap at 5 p.m., and then I nap again at 10 p.m. I sleep from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., and then I wake up again and nap at 6 a.m. and nap again during the day at work around 1 p.m. / 2 p.m. depending on how long I can go. So that's 4 naps at 20 minutes and 1 nap at 2 hours, and that gives me about 3.25 hours that I'm asleep during the day. My goal is to be at least down to 3 hours, so I'm gonna try and cut off one of the 2.5 hours today. Um, I'm slowly, steadily creeping back down to 3 hours a night. Um, Everyone talks about the benefits of polyphasic sleeping, but why is that? That's because there's not a whole lot of drawbacks. But I'll tell you a little bit about some things that I've come across. Um, the truth is that it's probably very expensive to be a polyphasic sleeper. I haven't gotten my electricity bill, but I've been polyphasic sleeping for a month, and I keep the lights on all the time. I go out in the middle of the night or what have you to the bookstore or something like that. So I think it's a little bit more expensive to be a polyphasic sleeper than a non-polyphasic sleeper. I have to, I go to the bookstore, spend money there, and obviously you're constantly using electricity, you're constantly using the air conditioning, so on, so forth. Um, you know, Another thing, and when you're first starting, um, you have this addiction to sleeping for 8 hours. You want to go sleep for 8 hours next to your dog. You want to curl up in bed and sleep next to her. And it's like an addiction. It's not something that you find necessary, but you really want to go over there and do that. So you have to curve that feeling of desire to go into the bed, that addiction to that nightly routine that you're so used to, that you've been doing for 22, 23 years, however old you are, and you've been doing this for so long that you have to figure out how to curb that addiction. And that's something that psychologically is challenging for people who are doing the polyphasic sleep. So my theory is I do love napping with my dog. I used to, sit around during the weekend, and we would sit there and I would read my magazines, and we'd be in the pile of sunlight on the floor, and I would finally, just drift off to sleep and wake back up, and I don't get to do that anymore. But then if you think about it, as long as I make sure that as long as I time my nap to go along with that time where I'm sitting in the middle of the floor, then I can do it. But it's different. You really do have an addiction to sleeping for 8 hours a night, and sometimes I think about it and I go, oh, sleeping, but not really. There's no need for me to sleep that long. It's just this thing that's been programmed into my mind for so long. Um, let's see, what else? Oh, the need for socialization. A lot of people will fail because they have no one to talk to. If you don't have a lot of internet friends, or you don't have like my twin who does this with me, then you need more socialization because it's the middle of the night, you're up all the time, and the human need is to socialize. Except, obviously I'm pretty much a hermit, but I still need that interaction when it's the middle of the night. So you gotta have some friends. Have some friends who are online at 2 a.m. in the morning to keep you awake, keep you stimulated, have some conversations. It's important to get that socialization during the evening, um, especially during the evening. But if you want to go into the benefits of polyphasic sleeping, I could go on and on about this, but let's just cover a couple. A, no jet lag. B, no sleeping pain. I have TMJ, so I have to sleep on one side of my body all the time. I always have to sleep on this side, like this, and my jaw has to be cocked over this way. However, And what would happen would be I'd get really sore, especially in my leg, because I'd be sitting there for 8 hours in this exact same position on the same side, almost like getting a bed sore, but not quite as drastic. And no more of that. No more sleeping pain. You're always refreshed, always feel awake. A lot of people have to use coffee in the morning to wake themselves up. You do not have to do that when you're on polyphasic sleeping. Although I never had to do that when I was a regular sleeper. That's because I had really structured. I went to bed every day at 8 and I woke at the exact same time every day, and that's the only reason I didn't have that. A lot of people, they just let their body tell them when to go to bed, and they have problems where they have to wake up using coffee. Well, you still don't need that, even if you pretty much let your body tell you what to do. You don't need that in polyphasic sleeping anymore. And the obvious one, you have way more time to do things. You can clean your house, run your errands, go grocery shopping in the middle of the night. And a lot of people have problems filling that time. I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions right now how to fill that time. Okay, you can fill this time by watching movies, songwriting, sewing, knitting, art, digital art, regular art, baking, cooking, cleaning, writing, video logging, web creation, so website creation, web design, flash animation. There's nothing funner than coding an action script. Teaching yourself foreign languages. That's right. I've learned Italian. I'm working on Italian, and I think I started Arabic when I was also in the polyphasic sleeping mode. So, and video games, because video games are the best. So if you're running out of things to do, hopefully you'll find something in my little list here. But I really can make a really long list. I think that every day I should suggest at least 6 new things to do, so that if you are having trouble finding things to do to keep you awake and keep you stimulated, you can come watch these videos and figure out what to do. That's about it. That's all I wanted to discuss. I did cut down another like 30 minutes or so off my sleep last night, and it was great. I had no troubles, so I'm going to try and cut another half hour off and let you know how that goes. Because, or not half hour, 25 minutes. I really want to be down to 3 hours per night, because that makes it worth, that really says 3 hours, you sleep 3 hours a night, that is something that's worth, fighting for. Whereas if you're sleeping for 5 hours a night, what the hell is the point then? What is the point of polyphasic sleeping and going through all that and trying to, change your whole thing if you're only gonna sleep, if you're gonna sleep for 5 hours? That gives you 3 hours. So in the same sense, I feel that way about 4 hours. I think the best one, the one we're fighting for, is 3 hours. If I can only sleep 3 hours a night, then I'm good to go. And obviously I can. I'm just filtering myself very steadily and being very careful this time, because last time ended with such interesting results. Okay. Alright, well, that concludes my video today, and I hope you will find some helpful tips. Okay, have a great evening.